Welcome to Pages and Partners, a Muncie Public Library podcast. Discover the library through our history, buildings, staff, programs, and partnerships. Join us as we explore what makes Muncie Public Library an important part of our community.
Thank you for joining us for Pages and Partners, a Muncie Public Library podcast. My name is Gabby Sandefer, and I'm the supervisor of Great Achievers. And my guests today are Shanna Hurd, the Marion Hunt Youth Services Supervisor, and Laura Janiga, the Kennedy Adult Services Supervisor. Today we're talking about the summer reading program at Muncie Public Library. So thank you both for joining us today. We're really excited to have you. So first off, can you give us a quick overview of the summer reading program? What is it and why is it important for our community?
Well, every year we have our summer reading program. It's an 8-week program. We encourage reading. We have fun activities for patrons of all ages. And we just want to encourage reading and learning and having a good time.
I love that. That's wonderful. So what is this year's theme for summer reading? Because I know that they change every year, the theme. So what is this year's theme?
Oh, this year's theme is Color Your World.
Ooh, that's fun. Now, I do have a question about the theme. Is that something that MPL chooses, or is that something that's chosen by something larger?
That actually comes from our state library. We are part of something called the Collaborative Summer Learning Program, and they choose a theme and provide artwork, and a variety of libraries, a lot of libraries in our state, but also other states will use that Color Your World theme this year.
That's really wonderful. That's great. So you had touched on that the summer reading program is an 8-week program. What are the exact dates of when it starts and when it ends?
Well, the program will start June 2nd and ends on July 26th.
Wonderful, wonderful. And you guys had said for all ages. What are these age ranges for summer reading program? Does it go all the way up to adult?
It sure does. So we start all the way at birth. We have a preschool program that is birth through 5 years old. We also have a kids program that runs from ages 6 to 12. And then our teen program runs from 13 to 18. And then, of course, adults 18 and up have their own program.
That is wonderful. So does that mean that families can read with their children and all of them can participate, not just the kiddos?
Yeah, that's definitely what we're hoping for.
That is great. That is great. I remember growing up, I was a big summer reading program kiddo, right? That was a big thing that my family did. And I remember my mom one time in the car, because she would read with us too. My mom always had a James Patterson novel with her, right? And she had talked about how she wishes she could do it with us. So I think that's really cool that libraries have been expanding summer reading program up through those adult ages, because reading's joyful.
Right.
You know, it's something we all want to do. So I really think that's neat. So how do participants sign up? Is there an app? Is there a handwritten type thing? How do they track and sign up for this?
Oh, well, there's actually a couple different ways that people can track. We, this year, are kicking off use of a fun app called Beanstack that's used in a lot of communities, and you can track your reading in that. It even has a timer built in if you choose to use that. But we'll have paper logs available for people who would prefer logging their reading that way. We'll have a log for each age group.
Yeah, and you can go to any of our branches to get that paper log or to get assistance in learning how to use the app.
Wonderful, wonderful. And is this an app they can just download straight on their phones and use?
Yep, they can get it from their favorite app store, or they can use it actually online. There is a website as well.
Oh, great.
They can go to munciepubliclibrary.beanstack.org to access that if they just want to do it through a browser.
Great. And I know that our teams at Muncie Public Library at all branches have been working really hard on this new Beanstack rollout, because we've been really excited to shift into using this more user-friendly approach. So yeah. I think our patrons are really going to appreciate being able to try something new and a little bit more, 21st century headed. So that's great. Are there different reading goals or incentives based on age? Because it sounds like we have a lot of different programs from, you said birth up to 18.
Yes. For our preschool age kiddos, we count the number of books. So the goal is 60 books, or they can do some educational activities instead. For our kids, we switch over to time, which makes it a lot easier since kids may be at different reading levels, that they can just count the time, and it doesn't matter if they're reading super short beginning readers or if they're reading Harry Potter. They can just count a minute, whatever it is. And for that age, the goal is 300 minutes over the summer. And then for teens, we also have a time limit, and we're looking at a 600-minute reading goal. And for kids and teens, there are also some educational activities that they can do in addition to the reading.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and for adults, the reading challenge is time-based as well. The primary goal is to read for 600 hours through the program, but for anyone who wants an extra challenge, we have some incentives to continue reading in 10-hour increments for some raffle prizes.
Well, and those raffle prizes have been pretty neat historically, right? Do you have any historic raffle prizes you want to share? I could have swore
Sure.
I heard last year a Kindle, possibly.
Yeah, for a few years now, the Friends of Muncie Public Library have sponsored a Kindle e-reader prize, and that has by far been our most popular raffle option. But we get a bunch of other prizes from local sponsors, and I won't name any names at this point because we're recording before we've finalized all of them.
Absolutely,
but we've got some really great prizes coming up this year.
That's really exciting.
You'll be able to see those in the app and on displays in the library.
Yeah, so everyone tune in to that app so you can see all the fun prizes you can get. And I know that the pot was getting big for that e-reader last year. I remember everyone was really excited about that. So there are some really cool prizes. And I know personally, running the Great Achievers program, we have our summer kiddos participate every year, and they get so excited about the prizes. They love their day where they get to go down with Miss Shanna and get their prizes. So I think those incentives really help because, summertime, people want to, lounge at the pool. They may not think about doing, reading, even though for those of us at the library, we read, more often than not. So I think those incentives really help, draw in people who may not be, readers all the time. So what are some of the key events or programs that are tied into summer reading that people should, keep on the lookout for when they're announced?
We've got several really fun things coming up for families of all ages. I mean, the first big one is for everybody. Our big kickoff party will be June 7th at 2 p.m. And this year we are going to be at the Kennedy Library. So I'm very excited. There is going to be a variety of community partners. We're going to have a foam cannon, snacks, crafts, like all kinds of fun stuff at that party. In addition, for families, Youth Services has arranged to have Mark's Ark Animal Showcase on June 13th, and that will be at Kennedy and another show at Mering Hunt, so you can choose whatever location is most convenient for you. And then in July, on July 21st, we're going to have Rusty Ammerman's Dimension of Illusion coming. And again, that will be both at Kennedy and at Mering Hunt, so you can choose your best time and location and come see an amazing magician.
Wow, magicians, and it sounds like animals. It sounds like we have a lot of exciting opportunities.
And for adults, we have planned variety of different things. Like we have our regular programs going on through the summer, so there's a lot of different book clubs you can join in. Mm-hmm. You don't need to do anything special to join a book club. You just show up. They're totally welcoming, fun groups of people to chat with. But we're also planning on showing a few movies, having some sort of stress relief type events where you can just enjoy yourself with other people. They'll probably be a little connected to the theme, Color Your World, some arts and crafts.
Definitely, people should make sure that they check our website because there are so many more programs than what we can mention in a little podcast like this.
Oh, yeah, and that is wonderful. And yes, if you go to Muncie Public Library's website, you can even just type in Muncie Public Library into your search engine. You will pull up our website. We actually have a very easy-to-read calendar that you can pull up virtually. We also have paper calendars at all of our branches that have all of our events going on, and we actually just posted May's. So go to all of our locations, grab those, go online. You can see all of the wonderful events that are going on. And I did want to touch base on, I think that I really like that you're doing kind of the stress relief, relaxing events. I think for adults, the idea of learning something new sometimes can be overwhelming on top of the workday, on top of everything. And just knowing that you have a space where you can go and possibly meet some new people, relax, I just think that's going to be a really exciting opportunity for our adults. So, kind of shifting gears from current programming for the summer program, what are some of your favorite success stories or special memories from the past summer reading programs?
Well, I think for me, it's the vibe of summer reading. The libraries get nice and lively. I love seeing people load themselves down with big tote bags full of books and walk out smiling. So that gets into this really, I guess, nostalgic view of summer reading. And just seeing the community come together, maybe people who haven't visited the library for a while see summer reading as an invitation to come back and check things out and see how it's changed over the years.
Yeah. And, every year where we're able to give away so many fun books for the kids and to see them maybe excitedly finding, a book that they want and they get to take it home and keep it forever. That's a major highlight for me in the summer.
Yeah. With my position being on the adult services side of things, I really like when I hear from people that they come in for one thing and they see all these other services we've got, and they tell me, I didn't know the library did this. So
that's one of my
that tells me we're doing something right.
to hear. I didn't know the library did this. That's one of my favorite things that people say when they come in. And I like that nostalgic part you touched on. For me, signing up my own students for summer readings, like a full circle moment, because I was the kid that did summer reading. So I can really see where that nostalgia comes in. And I love when we get people coming back to the library. We'll get a lot of grandparents coming to sign up their grandkids for summer reading. So yeah, thank you for sharing. I really liked those. They filled my bucket for sure. So I do want to touch on, so summer reading is not only fun. It has been proven to have benefits. So we have heard in, the education sphere, this idea of summer slide. So what does summer reading and how does this help prevent the summer slide for kids and teens?
Yeah, so the summer slide, for anybody that maybe isn't familiar with that, is this idea that if you have kids going to school and then they have 2 solid months where they're not learning anything, that they'll kind of start to forget, a little bit. And then when they come back to school, they're a little behind where they should be. So if you keep them reading, then they keep practicing those skills. And even if it's just reading for fun, even if it seems like silly things, it's still helping them practice those skills. It's keeping their mind going. And that is so important. But even before they're in school, you want to make sure, if you're reading to your baby, your preschooler, you're getting them already those pre-reading skills that they need. So when they start school, they're ready to go. So summer reading just helps encourage all of that for kids of any age.
Absolutely. And I've noticed, running an after-school program, that first month is tough. Mm-hmm. It's tough. And I know for my teacher peers, it's tough for them too, because, there is that slide. Kids are out of routine. They're not doing, and, it's been proven when you do things every single day, that helps with your memory, that helps with your mastery of your skills. And so even if it's 10 minutes a day, just reading with your child, that improves that summer slide. So thank you for touching on that. I think that's really important. So for families and adults who haven't participated before, Shanna had said it's fun. What would you say to encourage them to give it a try?
Well, yeah, for the adults, there's still this misconception that summer reading is all for kids, but it's not just for kids. It's fun, something adults can do too. And if you do have kids in your life who are looking to you as a role model, let them catch you reading.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good to see something for them to observe, like the enrichment that you get out of it.
Oh, yeah. I keep a book on my desk every day, the book that I'm reading. And a lot of people will make jokes. They'll come in and they'll be like, I see that book every day. But really, it's so the kids see it. When they walk in, they see a book on my desk and they'll be like, what's that? And I'll be like, oh, I read that on my lunch break. And for them to see that an adult in their life is reading, that's not just a skill you do for school.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lifetime skill. So I love that. It's fun and it's not just for kids. I think that in touching back on that nostalgia point you had mentioned, I think it's nostalgic for adults to do it too. You know, I think a lot of us participated, especially us, 90s, 2000s kids. A lot of us participated in summer reading. So yeah. Is there anything else that you guys want to share or touch on or, celebrate?
The one thing I want to make sure everybody knows, because we talk about, summer reading, it's it can be any kind of reading. And I think sometimes people don't really realize that, your child is never too young to participate because you can read to your child. If you have a kid that's maybe struggling in reading, let them listen to an audiobook. That totally counts. Let them read a graphic novel. That totally counts. Like, it can be any kind of reading, whether it's listening, whether it's reading a picture book, whether it's being read to, it all counts. So make sure that you're exploring all your different options in whatever way that's going to be fun and useful to you and your children.
Great. I think that's a really wonderful note to end on, and I'm a big believer in audiobooks, graphic novels. They all count. All of it. It's all consuming books. And so I want to thank you both for taking the time to come talk to us about all the wonderful summer reading opportunities that we have. I hope to see all of you at our summer reading kickoff parties. And in the meantime, keep reading.
This has been Pages and Partners, a Muncie Public Library podcast. For more information about library events and resources, visit munpl.org.